what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' It's D. About to react to this video about Fantastic Hip Hop. It's titled How Kendrick Lamar Just Exposed Drake. So as you guys know, Kendrick dropped his second diss track on Drake. I just reacted to it. It's over on my Patreon right now. Go check it out if you're interested. Link down below. We have been over there having a time discussing all these diss tracks. These Kendrick diss tracks, like the discussion that we've been having over there has been my favorite so far. So I've really been enjoying talking to y'all over there about these records or whatever. You know, we just been discussing and giving our opinions and whatnot. Come join the community anyway. Kendrick dropped 616 in LA, which is a play on what, you know, Drake typically does with his 5 a.m. in Toronto, 4 p.m. in Calabasas, etc., etc. So yeah, we're gonna hear what, you know, this guy has to say and how he exposed Drake. Let's watch.
After only a few days of letting his diss track Euphoria leave its mark on the rap world, Kendrick Lamar is already back with another diss aimed at Drake, and with his newest entry in this feud, it's clear that Kendrick Lamar is not going to stop against Drake until he hurts him in a way that he can't come back from, and while some rappers clearly want to do this, between this...
I feel like we may be witnessing Drake's decline, which is so crazy because Drake has been at the top for so long. He's been the king of rap for so long, so it's very interesting to see things shift, you know? So I'm very interested to see how this will all play out.
Skill Kendrick displays here, and the dirt he's digging up. As you sit down with each bar here and understand just how high of a level Kendrick's operating on, you can see that Lamar has all of the power in this beef right now. Now, before we can even dive into what Kendrick does on this new track itself, we need to take a moment and go back to Euphoria and see that through all the crazy bars and insults that Kendrick threw Drake's way, he did allude to the fact that he was going to drop back-to-back diss records, and while this only further indicates for us that Euphoria is one of the most well-written and perfectly calculated diss tracks maybe in hip-hop ever, it also brings us to this very moment with 616 in LA, and already from the title, just like Euphoria, Kendrick is already up against Drake here just from what he named the song, as it's mocking his classic timestamp series. Euphoria, the series, premiered on 616, and 616 is also the birthday of the legendary Tupac, who has been heavily involved in this feud between Drake using a fake version of him on tailor-made freestyle, and Kendrick defending everything his legacy stood for on Euphoria. And beyond this, 616 is Father's Day, which is just another hilarious jab at Drake. And if this wasn't enough, it is also the time that everything with O.J. Simpson went down, so Kendrick is really not just humiliating...
What the fuck? Kendrick is playing high-level chess. What the hell? What are the chances of Euphoria starting on June 16th? And Father's Day being on June 16th? And Tupac's birthday being on June 16th. Because, you know, he had Tupac on the tailor-made freestyle track, and then he also bought Tupac's ring, which Kendrick said, you know, he rather double the wage and buy the ring off of Drake, because Drake is tarnishing his name and his legacy, making Pac roll in his grave. Oh shit, that's crazy.
Break with this title.
I was wondering that too. I'm just like, 616 in LA is very specific. Why not just 6 a.m. in LA, if anything, if you want to drop it around 6 in the morning? Very interesting.
But once again, he's defending the West Coast and preparing to just end his reign as a dominant artist in cultural sense. Now, where Euphoria quickly amped up into...
I'm being stupid because it's so funny. Like, we don't really... This is not a thing. Like, I feel like this was a thing back in the day, but we not out here just like... We don't do that. I feel like other people think we do that, but anyway.
Multi-layered, intense attack at Drake. Kendrick goes in a completely different direction here, as this cut only features one instrumental, and it's not intense or in your face at all, and matter of fact, the beat's actually quite beautiful, as it features a smooth soul loop from the one and only Al Green, and with Kendrick cooking over a beat like this, it gives the entire track a completely different atmosphere, and when we look at the production of the song, there's even more layers beyond its sound, because Drake's uncle actually played guitar for Al Green, and in addition to this, it's important to note that the guys behind
Drake's uncle played guitar. This shit is so intertwined. How does Kendrick think of these things? And it's so funny because fucking Cole and Drake playing chess on first person shooter. Y'all don't know how to play. Y'all niggas ain't playing chess hard enough. This nigga playing chess. Kendrick is playing chess. Y'all should have had checkers on the goddamn board. That's what y'all should have been doing the little hops. you might be able to do the little double hops. You might be able to do that. But y'all up there trying to play chess. Y'all niggas don't know how to play chess. Fuck out of here. Actually, I fuck with Cole, so I don't I don't want to loop him into this, but
actually played guitar for Al Green, and in addition to this, it's important to note that the guys behind the beat are one of Kendrick's go-to producers, Soundwave, but more significantly, Jack Antonoff, who is known for working with Taylor Swift, and again, by using a beat done by somebody so synonymous with Taylor Swift. This only adds another layer to things, as it's poking right back
he
on
failed with her
everything
latest
that Drake
album.
said on Taylor Made Freestyle. So with all this laid out, which already shows that every single move Kendrick is making in this feud is intentional and done in a way to just continue leveling up over Drake. When Kendrick gets to rapping on this track, we get the pleasure of seeing him just spit straight bars over this one-of-a-kind instrumental, and not just any bars, but of course, more lines that are aimed at Drake, but just like the sound of the song itself. Kendrick takes a different approach on all angles from his own performance. Now, as Kendrick kicks off this track, he's not immediately firing at Drake, but instead is focusing on the beef from his own perspective. And I think this is a brilliant thing to do, because as Kendrick talks about how his personal life is not affected by this and that he is still at peace as a human being, he detaches a part of himself from all of this, and where Drake is constantly trolling and posting about what's going on in this feud, this seemingly shows the difference in their personalities once again, as Kendrick just positions himself as an individual who is way more mature, while Drake can't seem to grow up. Now, just because Kendrick alludes to the positive state that he's in, this doesn't mean this isn't a diss record, because right after the first few bars, Kendrick still tells us to question who he even is if he didn't go to battle against Drake, and from here, the king of the West Coast just coasts with straight bars and a super focused demeanor. He begins to come at Drake with an entirely new strategy, which isn't just to tell us things we already know about him and just spin it in a way that makes him look like an absolute clown, but it's to reveal to the public new things about Drake and his camp that try to tear him up from the inside. What's interesting is that Kendrick is taking a lot of the threats that Drake made and the games that he tried to play and is flipping them right back at him, as in both Push-Ups and Taylor Made Freestyle. He was trying to rip up Kendrick from his own Top Dog Entertainment label and members like SZA, and beyond this, the West Coast as a whole. But this clearly didn't affect Kendrick, as he already settled the score about all this on
Look at him in
Coast as a
game. Listen, I gave my thoughts on what I think he was trying to say on this song, but just peep.
But this clearly didn't affect Kendrick, as he already settled the score about all this on Euphoria, but now, he is already on the offensive in this exact same way as here. Kendrick takes so many of the claims about what is going on behind the scenes in this beef and throws it all in Drake's face. Kendrick frames all of this in a super effective and impactful way, as he calls Drake a straight-out liar and a horrible person, and talks about how he has involved the wrong people in this feud just to say something, as he specifically defends Anthony Tiffith, the CEO of Top Dog, and also Cash, who is the Weeknd's manager, who Drake dissed on Push-Ups.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
And also Cash, who is the Weeknd's manager, who Drake dissed on Push-Ups, and from here, after pulling all the people who seemingly have nothing to
mention
do
that
with
Cash
any
Doll
of this
bar,
feud, other than
I need to know what's going on
Drake
with
from
that.
fully going at Kendrick. Lamar comes at him with another power play, as he reveals that his own team and label OVO may be working for him, and that because of the way Drake acts and treats the people around him, the people who he calls his family actively despise him and feed information to his biggest rivals, as deep down inside, they want to see Drake fail just as much as other people do. Now, this is an insane claim to make, and while this is not anything new, as guys like Pusha T and The Weeknd have alluded to this, as somebody like Push specifically said that he found out that Drake was hiding a kid throughout none other than Drake's closest collaborator, 40. As many people, including Drake himself, suspected that Kanye told Push about this and that he was using 40 as a cover-up, as Ye did know this as well. None of these claims were ever able to be proven, but now with Kendrick coming at Drake with the same angle, it seems like the truth about the disaster that is OVO is finally coming to full force. And after The Weeknd just sang about how OVO has leaks in their operation on the Metro Boomin and Future...
Oh, he did say that. Fucking full circle moment. When they got leaks in their operation. Oh, these leaks is leaking. They leaking to all his ops. I thank God that I never signed my life away. He's like, I thank God I'm not a part of that snitch ass operation. Period, Abel.
Track all to myself. It seems like everything is finally getting connected as Kendrick puts the final pieces of the puzzle together once and for all. Now, Kendrick does not stop here as he continues to reveal more and more about Drake as he seemingly confirms that Drake paid people to dig up dirt on him, and all he did by doing this was lose money as Kendrick's skeletons were already revealed on Mr. Morale, and besides that, Lamar says himself, "I'm sorry that I live a boring life. I love peace." But of course in the next bar, lets Drake know that he'll still go to war with him and destroy everything he stands for. Now, pushing all this momentum into an amazing finale, Kendrick takes both of these angles and wraps them together to continue to just stomp on everything that Drake represents as he raps about how he is not the smart leader that he thinks he is, and that all the attempts at spreading misinformation throughout false reporting, and as Kendrick confirms, actual automated bots and comment sections on social media have not just worked against him. But at this point, he really needs to worry about what is going on in his own camp, as Kendrick says one of the
I wouldn't be surprised if Drake is doing that, because he is online, and him and his little Twitter fingers, you know? And the little memes and shit. You playing dirty with propaganda. Twitter bots. That makes sense, because I feel like people were just saying wild shit on Twitter. It didn't make no sense. They're like, "This Euphoria is trash. The worst diss track I ever heard." It's like, okay, y'all aren't even real people saying this. Like, even if you don't feel like that Euphoria was super impactful or super hard, there's no way you can fix your mouth to say that it's trash or that it's one of the worst diss tracks you've ever heard. Like, what? So it's like, who is paying y'all to say this? Or what bots are just automatically, you know, coming out with these accounts and making these tweets. These fake little bots. So he's saying that Drake is behind.
Automated bots and comment sections on social media have not just worked against him, but at this point, he really needs to worry about what is going on in his own camp, as Kendrick says one of the biggest leakers is right next to him, and two more are tired of his lifestyle. And while we don't know who specifically Lamar's talking about, we can assume that one of these supposed leakers has to be 40, and that another one is definitely Beam, who is allegedly one of Drake's ghostwriters, and as Kendrick called him out by name before, seems like maybe he knows something about him specifically that will come to truth if Drake decides to continue this feud. Now, closing out this track, Kendrick talks about how Drake is playing dirty, he can no longer hide behind his phone and memes, and it is time to think about who he really surrounds himself with as he leaves him with the bar. Before you figure out you're not alone, ask what would Mike do, which is an insane way to end this track, as once again, Kendrick has alluded back to this connection of Drake being Michael Jackson that we can see now. He really pushed Drake into playing into as it's helping him here. But beyond just referencing the iconic MJ line, he is also talking about the fact that Michael Jackson had some serious trust issues with everyone around him at a point in his career. So when we look at 616 and
what happened to
the
him?
grand scheme of this beef, I think this was another great move for Kendrick, as it perfectly complements Euphoria as with the first track. It almost seemed like an overview of everything wrong with Drake and why this beef is at this point in the first place, where here, it feels like Kendrick is dissecting Drake's very strategy and is now laying out an entirely new set of cards to not just give him an advantage, but to confuse Drake and make him question how he is running his own operation. However you want to score
Drake,
this,
you fucked
Kendrick
up,
Lamar
brother.
definitely gets another point with this song, and with two phenomenal diss tracks that offer us something so different both musically and crucial to the beef narratively. I don't know what Drake is going to say in response. Because
what the fuck can you say? Nigga, you still short. Like, what are you going to say?
True. When this feud is all, I don't know what Drake is going to say in response, because if everything Kendrick is saying is true, when this feud is all said and done, I don't know how Drake is going to walk out of this as the same man.
Right.
So let me know your thoughts on 6.
Right, that's what the fuck I'm thinking. It's interesting he didn't mention the whole Michael Jackson. He didn't go deeper. I talked about it on my Patreon, but that's what I think he's saying, what I said over there. But this shit is getting crazy. This shit is so exciting and like so interesting, and the way that Kendrick is so calculated with the fucking dates. What the fuck? Father's Day, Tupac birthday, when Euphoria aired, that Drake is the executive producer on. He used the Al Green sample when fucking Drake's uncle played for Al. Like, what? How do you think of these things? This nigga Kendrick is next level, and this is not no glaze, and you can call it the fuck you want. I don't care. Call it what you like. I'm just appreciating the intellect. I'm appreciating the calculations you know, because we don't typically see this with rappers. A lot of rappers are very stupid and they say a lot of dumb shit. There's not much thought that goes into, you know, things that they say and do. So it's refreshing to see someone, you know, taking a different approach, a very mature, spiritual, like intelligent approach. It's just exciting. It's interesting. It's new. So, you know, it gets the people going. You know, so that's why I'm excited about it. So, you know, call it what you want, though. I don't care. But very interesting. I cannot wait to hear what Drake drops next. I am waiting. I am fucking waiting. And then him mention the act. Ah! I love all of this. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what the videos you'll be watching. I'll see y'all the next time. Bye.